Hey everybody, Dr. Rob here, Facebook Live. Looking forward to this one. This is a lot of fun. All my information right here came out yesterday, New England Journal of Medicine. We're going to talk about weight loss and or really the problem with obesity in America today. So here's what I need you to do. If you like what you see, subscribe to my YouTube. If you like what you see here, press like, press share. This is something that pertains to everybody. Just remember, drrobertsilverman.com. So let's get into it. A third of the world is now overweight. The world, we're not talking about our world in the USA. We're talking about the world. If you really want to talk about our world, it's about 72% of Americans are overweight or obese. So John just shook his head at me. You can't see him. It's just every time he hears this, and it should be what everybody does. It's just to the point where, like, guys, we got to get ourselves. Come on. If anything, words, it's been very few times in my life that I'm short on words. And when I talk about this, I just don't know what to say. We got to get in better shape. We got to start getting people to drop the weight and get in better health. Number one, as I just alluded to, the U.S. is leading the way by far. We are number one. Believe it or not, number two is Egypt, and number three is Canada. And Egypt is a close second. 2.2 billion people in the world are either overweight or obese. 2.2 billion. That's a large number, clearly. In addition, the U.S. has the number one amount, or the most amount of obese children. Now, we're talking volume. We're not that big a country. We have more obese children than any other country in the world. In addition, we have the number one, the most amount of obese adults. We're almost at 80 million obese adults. China is number two, and China has almost about 1.4 billion people. Billion. We're about 325 million. This has doubled since 1980. And by the way, the Lancet did a study and talked about us being the U.S. doubling. Every other country has increased since 1980. By the way, what we'll do, somebody can tell me the two countries that are tied for the least amount of obesity. They're at 1%, believe it or not. We're going to give you something free if you can send in and take some guesses with John over there. I just pulled that out just for you. Okay, and I'll let you know who that is also. This obesity has increased cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer. It's all about blood sugar. It's all about a bad diet. It's all about sugar. Sugar, 160 pounds per year, the average American. You guys hear me say that every week. Stop eating sugar. 160 pounds sugar. America's got a diabetic issue. That's why we call ourselves the United States of diabetes, the parallel increase of obesity in diabetes with a tremendous parallel increase curve. It is without question a prodigious amount, unfortunately. But the bottom line is CVD, diabetes, and cancer, we're number one. 70% of the deaths from obesity and overweight are coming from cardiovascular problems. In addition, women are the bigger problem. Women actually are heavier than men in that 40% of women in America are obese, 35% of men are obese, and with women, the world is about 13% and men are about 11%. New Year's resolutions. It shouldn't be a New Year's resolution for 6 weeks. 92% of people who make a New Year's resolution fail in the first 6 weeks. It should be a year-round commitment. There you go. So why is this occurring? Well, reason number one, changes in the food and environmental system. So the environmental system, our soil, is without question not healthy at all. We've got only 7% of the soil to be able to be cropped and fertilized as organic. 93% is corrupted already. That's a major problem. As you all know, Roundup's being used in our soil. Now they're talking about Roundup staying in soil for not days like they thought, months to possibly years. The changes in food. I mean, my parents said, I don't remember these things that kids eat now. Everything's colored, everything's full of sugar, everything is packaged. Negative, negative, negative. In addition, availability and access. You know, really, people in countries, shocking as it may seem, have a tremendous availability of food. We live here in Westchester County, a more upscale county. the availability to most people here for food is real extreme. And you know, if you ever go out and go to dinner, you see a lot of food, plates are large. You know, they talk about family style. And I mean, the plate is what a family could eat and individuals are eating. So the access to food has really led people to be more gluttonous, if you will. Affordability of energy-dense foods. I mean, you can go into a school, you can go get 200-300 calories in a silly processed Lay's potato chip or whatever it may be. So the density of calories, empty calories, the density of chemicals in these items is quite vast. In addition, there's a lot of marketing. You know, we have gone crazy with marketing. John always helps me market, but we're trying to market health. We're trying to market wellness. These people are selling crap, bad food. So the marketing intensity is quite high, and there's been a decrease in exercise. People just aren't moving as much. I mean, the standard is 15,000 steps, which equivocates to about 7 miles. Let's get moving. Our ancestors moved a lot more than we do. Everybody sits, get up and stand. And these are the reasons why. I mean, they're not sexy, they're not really difficult, but they're more than obvious. So let's talk about some solutions. Everybody get a pad and a paper and write it down. Solution number 1, TLC, not tender loving care. Therapeutic lifestyle change. Change your lifestyle. Everybody always thinks there's a negativity to the word diet. Everybody thinks there's a negativity to exercise program. Why? By the way, 8 out of 10 Americans have been surveyed and they think healthy food means more expensive and it means doesn't taste good. I just had a conversation with a patient this morning and I said, you know, if you could do one thing, get off the yogurt, even a gluten-free oatmeal. And he said, doesn't taste good. And I'm like, what? Gluten-free oatmeal? Why doesn't it taste good? Have you tried it? He never tried it. He doesn't understand that a gluten-free oatmeal is just using a different reaper and there's just no cross-contamination. It's the same oatmeal. It just doesn't have the contaminants in it. So people's perception of healthy food is that it's more expensive and it doesn't taste good, and that isn't true. So therapeutic lifestyle is without question exercise, eating a more appropriate diet, and get up and get moving. So let's talk about some easy, basic things that you can implement in your diet. Choices. Make a better choice. So if you're going out to eat, real simply, choose something that's a little healthier. So for instance, a sweet potato versus a French fry. Try not to use condiments. Avoid soda. Have tea or water. Make better choices. Make healthier choices. Just be conscious of what's going on. Preparation. So, hey, I got a piece of fish. Is it a fried fish? Is it steamed fished? Is it broiled? Or if it's grilled, what is it coming with? So clearly fried doesn't work. If it's grilled, great. Grilled with no sauce. Use some seasoning. Use a little lemon. Use a little olive oil. The preparation is a key component to the overall health of the food. Portion. Do not suffer from America's portion distortion. You want a piece of protein? There's your hand. I have a large hand. Go for it. Right here. If you're a bigger person, you can eat my fingers then, so to speak. There's your portion size. You carry it with you. Let me give you some analogies. If you want to have a fruit, if it's a large fruit, I would look at the size of a light bulb. If it's some cheese that you want to add, think of some dice. If you want to have some yogurt, if it's a organic yogurt or a sheep's milk yogurt or something like that, think of a Dixie cup. So think of these everyday type of items into the proper portion size. Don't eat excessive portions. And finally, timing. Timing is critical. I mean, if you're eating 20 minutes before you go to sleep, obviously you're eating too late. If you're eating all your food at one time, that may not be the thing. Intermittent fasting, which we talked about before, very popular, real proponent of some intermittent fasting that's based all on timing. So that takes care of that easy. My GPS of health, we talk about that every week. Big article going to be coming out in one of the major journals on Dr. Rob's GPS of health. GPS of health means no gluten, no processed food, no sugar. No gluten, we've talked about it a multitude of times. No gluten, real simple. If man makes it, Dr. Jacqueline says, I won't eat it. No gluten, simple. Processed food, the same premise. So people say, where's dairy fall in? Dairy is processed. So take your gluten out, take your dairy out, take all your packaged food and sugar. No added sugar. No added sugar. If you're going to have some berries, great. I had some berries this morning. If you're going to have an apple, great. No problem. Just don't add anything to it. Don't add honey, even though honey can be healthy. Don't add honey. Don't add molasses. Don't add things that have added sugar. Keep your sugar down to about 10% of your calories. Chemicals in your environment. Chemicals, because we all have heard me say it's all about chemicals. It's not about calories. Please avoid the chemicals. Right now, chemicals are without question one of the number one reasons why people are gaining weight. So anybody have PMS? I throw this out right there. John's, his eyes kind of lit up. He's standing there on my Instagram Live. So PMS, we call that technically luteal phase defect. What happens when you take a chemical, like when you drink a bottle of soda, call that BPA. These chemicals are estrogen mimickers, and they actually circulate in the body. They get to receptors, they block the receptors, and people can't detox and assess and recirculate. They recirculate their estrogen. That poses a problem. One of the reasons that people get PMS, one of the reasons that people have low testosterone. So not to go off on a tangent, chemicals cause adverse effects within the body. Get rid of your chemicals. We're not made to consume dyes. We're not made to consume these chemicals. Our environment, we are products of our environment. Don't you remember, haven't you heard your mom always say you're a product of your environment? It's just not the people you hang out with. It's what your foods ate, where your food hung out and everything like that. So we're products of our consumption of our food's environment. The microbiome, oof. I don't think we have enough time on Facebook Live to really do justice to the microbiome. Scientific American Mind, July/August, just came out. They did a whole article on gut and brain interaction. So essentially, your gut's speaking to your brain, and it's determining your appetite, how you absorb food, how you burn the food, and essentially how you feel about the food. Your microbiome, you've got 70% of your immune cells. It's where your vitamins, minerals, and foods get absorbed. Please take good care of your gut. It is the key to health. If you want a little more information, my book, Inside Out Health, A Revolutionary Approach to Your Body, Chapter 1 speaks all about that and gives you a 6-hour program to fix your microbiome. Everybody, please take a probiotic. In addition, brain health. My God, I mean, everywhere I go and I lecture, if we talk about concussion, Alzheimer's, depression, dementia, it is the rage in healthcare right now. Got to take care of your brain health. How do you take care of your brain health? Take care of your gut, watch your sugar consumption, and of course, guard yourself from any kind of trauma in your brain, a key component. Finally, exercise. We talked about it before. Let's move. Everybody move. Today, send me an IM and said, hey, tell me what you did. You know what? There's another thing. Everybody who lets me know the exercise they do, we're going to reach out and get you something. Tell me that you moved. Tell me what kind of exercise, whether it be Tabata, whether it was weight train, whether you went for a run, whether you got on a bike, or you do what John does, right? John and I are going to go play hopscotch up there. Sorry there. And finally, supplements. Absolutely. Supplemental to what? Well, we talked about probiotics. I don't know how you can get enough good bacteria and prebiotics from food alone. I haven't seen it. So let me tell you something that I just learned about probiotics. I found out that probiotics are what we call transient. That means they don't stay there forever. There's a life that the bacteria has, and it's a short life. To extend the life and its effectiveness, you have to eat a prebiotic, something that feeds it. Secondly, in that it's transient, you always have to keep feeding it. You always have to get more good bacteria. Probiotics are going to do that for you. So the supplements I recommend real quick: probiotics, vitamin D, fish oils, a great multivitamin, multimineral phytonutrient, and finally, a couple of green drinks a day. So, Don, you got any questions or any guesses on the countries that were 1%?
I don't see any guesses yet.
Okay.
One question on cheat meals.
Cheat meals.
Do you recommend them?
That's a great question. I'm happy my wife's inside and not here. So what if I said to my wife, honey, I was good all week and I just wanted one little, anyway. I hear what you're saying. I would much rather a proverbial, definitely not a cheat day. And most people, when they talk about a cheat meal, I happen not to do cheat meals, and that's fine. I think a cheat meal, but a well-portioned treat meal, you know, like if you want some pizza, go have some pizza, gluten-free, please. Don't have 2 pies. So, yes.
Awesome. How can people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me real simply at drrobertsilverman.com website. You got the Facebook. Share it, like it. If you have any questions, let them know. Guys, My pleasure, always yours in health, Dr. Rob.